Hello, friends. Welcome to the Thinning of the Veil podcast. I'm your host, Tia Smith, and today is another story slash Thinning of the Veil experience. I'm excited to share this one. I feel like it's a good follow-up to the sharing of my own personal experiences with my two children on the other side of the veil. I'm grateful that this space I felt safe enough and encouraged enough to share the experience that I had with my little ones on the other side of the veil. Hopefully that in the sharing of that experience that there are more and more people that can find some solace and some healing when we're walking through these very, very difficult times. The story today is another story to try to give hope, and it's a well-documented thinning of the veil experience. It is one given by Zeke Johnson. I had actually read this story quite a few years ago and kind of had forgotten about it a little bit. But a dear friend of mine, Tony Jackson, sent it to me in email and says, I'm not sure if you've seen this. And as I read it, I was reminded that I had read it and that this would be actually the perfect week and the perfect time to share this experience. I will read it in his own words. And I will actually leave a link in the description of this video so you can go check it out on his own Family Search account. For me, it gives me hope of what's coming. Uh, the glorious resurrection. It's about a little Indian girl who he had a thinning of the veil experience with about resurrection. And I hope that it kind of moves upon us to remind us there is power in the covenants that we have made. There is power in the priesthood. There is power in the promises of God to us in the very near future. And we have hope. And as we mourn, we don't have to mourn without it. So here's the story by Zeke Johnson. Just a reminder, tomorrow is the Gathering Academy again with Colette. And then I have a super cool talk given by Brent Top. And it's about the spirit world. And it's just an amazing talk. Because, I mean, he's written an amazing book. And so this is super condensed version of some of the stuff that's in his book. So I'm going to post that on Friday. And thanks again for all you do, for all your support and all your love. Here is Zeke's story in his own words. I have been requested to relate an experience I had in 1908 or 1909 in San Juan County. I was just making a home in Blanding, and the whole county there was covered with trees and sagebrush. I was working hard to clear the ground to plant a few acres of corn. We had 5 acres cleared and started to plant the corn. My little boy, Roy, 7 or 8 years old, was there to help me plant the corn. I'd plow around the piece, and then he would plant the furrow with the corn. Then I'd cover it and plow again. While I was plowing on that piece of ground, I discovered there were ancient houses there, that is, the remnants of them. As I was plowing around, I noticed that my plow had turned out the skeleton of a small child. The skull and the backbone, most of the bones, of course, were decayed and gone. Part of the skeleton was there, so I stepped immediately as my plow had passed it a little. I turned and looked back against the bar of the plow between the handles. As I was looking at that little skeleton that I had plowed out and wondering, all of a sudden, to my surprise, I saw the bones begin to wiggle, and they began to change position and to take on different colors. And within a minute, there lay a beautiful little skeleton. It was a perfect little skeleton. Then I saw the inner parts of the natural body coming in, the entrails, etc. I saw the flesh coming on, and I saw the skin come on the body when the inner parts of the body was complete. A beautiful head of hair adorned the top of the head, and in about a half a minute after the hair was on the head, it had a beautiful crystal decoration in the hair. It was combed beautifully and parted on one side. In about half a minute after the hair was on the head, the child raised upon her feet. She was lying a little on her left side with her back toward me. Because of this, I wasn't able to discern the sex of the child right away, but as she raised up, a beautiful robe came down over her left shoulder, and I saw it must be a girl. She looked at me, and I looked at her, and for a quarter of a minute, we just looked at each other, smiling. Then my ambition to get hold of her overcame me. I said, "Oh, you beautiful child." And I reached out as if I would embrace her, and she disappeared. That was all I saw. And I stood there, and I wondered what I thought for a few minutes. My little boy was wondering why I was standing there because he was down at the other end of the row, anxious to come and plant corn. Now, I couldn't tell that story to anyone because it was so mysterious to me and such. Why should I have such a miraculous experience? I couldn't feature a human being in such a condition as to accidentally plow that little body out and see it come alive. A body of a child, about 5 to 7 years old, I'd say. I couldn't tell that story to anyone until finally, one day, I met a dear friend of mine, stake patriarch Wayne H. Red of Blanding. He stopped me on the street and said, "Zeke, you have had an experience on this mesa you won't tell. I want you to tell it to me." Well, I told it to him. Then he had me tell it to other friends, and since then I have told it in 4 temples in the United States, and meeting houses and many socials, fast meetings, and at conference time. I wondered, and it worried me for years as to why I was allowed to see it, a common man like me, uneducated. Why was I, just a common man, allowed to see such marvelous manifestation of God's power? One day, as I was walking alone with my hoe on my shoulder going to hoe some corn, something said, "Stop under that shade of that tree for a few minutes and rest." This just came to me, and I thought I would. So I stopped there, and this is what was given to me. It was an answer to my prayer. I prayed incessantly for an answer as to why I was privileged to see that resurrection. I was told why. When the child was buried there, it was either in time of war with different tribes of Indians, or it was winter time when the ground was frozen and they had no tools to dig deep graves. If it were during time of war, they couldn't possibly take time to dig a deep, deep grave. They just planted that little body as deep as they could under the circumstances. When it was done, the sorrowing mother knew that it was such a little shallow grave that in her sorrow she cried out to the little group that was present, "That little shallow grave, the first beast that comes along will smell her body and will dig her up and scatter her to the 4 winds. Her bones will be scattered all over these flats." There just happened to be a man present holding the priesthood, a Nephite or a Jaredite, I don't know which, because they had both been in this country. I've been in their houses and know it. This man said, "Sister, calm your sorrows. Whenever that little body is disturbed or uncovered, the Lord will call her up and she will live." Since that time, I have taken great comfort, great cheer and consolation and satisfaction, with praise in my heart and soul, until I haven't the words to express it, that it was I that uncovered that little body. Thank you for listening to me. I just can't tell this without crying. Zeke Johnson, son of Joel Hills Johnson. What a beautiful, miraculous thinning of the veil experience that Brother Johnson had. And what hope does that give to all mothers who have lost children, whether they have buried them on the plains and had to leave them, or their heart has been torn out because of war, or all of the other reasons that we as parents have had to bury our children. There will come a time, my friends, when, because of the Savior's atoning sacrifice and rising from the dead, we will see our little ones again. The power of the priesthood is in the gospel of Jesus Christ. And because of that, we will see miracles, just as Zeke did, in the raising of our children back to us, comforting us, and really restoring that which was lost for us. Thank you for joining me. I hope you find hope in the story, and I hope that you really, really start to understand that as we're gathering all of these little ones back to their parents, that a healing of their souls is being given to these families. And not too soon in the far distant future, we will see the physical reunion as well. I'm grateful for my Savior, Jesus Christ, who gives me hope that my two little ones will be with me very, very soon. Keep joining me. You'll find value in the Gathering Academy this week with Colette. And also, we will have that amazing talk on the spirit world. So it's just kind of another full week. And I'm grateful again, friends, for joining me. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.